Hello, hello. How are you doing? Hey, we are here. It is time to get started with our frequently asked questions about the Montessori Way Foundations Framework. And I am here to answer some of those questions. If you're watching live and I'm not answering your questions, then be sure to ask them here in comments, and I will be happy to answer those questions for you if you are on the fence in making your decision to join and have your tangible transformation, the best 6 months of your life on your Montessori journey. You're going to start it the right way. Then ask me the questions. I'm going to start asking some of these frequently asked questions that people are always wondering about, but feel free to jump in and ask your own questions if I'm not addressing it. I am here for you, and I am super happy to help you with that awesome decision that you have to make about the Montessori Way Foundations Framework. You have less than 20 hours before the quick action bonus expires. And the quick action bonus, it's so amazing. You have I'm going to talk about everything that is included inside the Montessori Way Foundations Framework, but I'm also going to show you what the bonuses are. The quick action bonus is a set of 2 awesome printables that you get to keep forever and ever and ever, and you're going to love them. So let me get started with the questions. I'm just finding the slide really fast about the framework. And I'm going to be doing the presentation. I'm trying to find the right size for it so I can show it to you and you can see it really, really well. Okay, this is going to be just for the basic framework, but there is a lot more that is included in here. So let me show you the slide, and then I'm going to show you the other slide for it. So let's get started with the questions, and then we're going to move into the, oh, I changed the slide. There it is. That is the Montessori Way Foundations Framework. And like I said, if you have any questions, feel free to post them in here while I'm talking. I'll be super happy to help. Okay, that thing is going to disappear in a second. The first question that I asked is, what is included in the Montessori Way Foundations Framework? Well, what you see on the slide right now is a set of the 4 deliverables. The 4 deliverables. Those are the core method. The core method is what includes the video lessons. So you're going to go into the Montessori topics such as sensitive periods, the normalized child, the 3-period lesson presentation, the 3-part cards, discipline, all the different topics. There are so many topics that we're going to be delving into. So you get the printable, the video lessons, and the printable notes for you to take notes, keep forever, and your implementation tasks. That's a fancy way of saying homework, your homework pages. And that is over 200 pages that you get to keep in the deliverables. Then the second deliverable is the Zoom calls, the laser calls. Those are the coaching calls where we get to really tackle those individualized topics that you are stuck in. So the framework gives you the basics of what it should look like, or what the thing is. And then once we go into the coaching, we customize it so where you are able to do it successfully. Then you also have a printable and customizable Montessori planner. You see it right there on the screen on the slide with the navy blue. That's over 50 pages. The Zoom calls, the laser calls are twice a month. And you also have the Facebook group for ongoing coaching. So if you have a simple question about the homework or about a lesson, you can ask anytime in the Facebook group. I'm in there every single day. The laser calls, the difference between the Facebook group and the laser calls is the Facebook group, you can ask any question, but the laser call is more of the where we're seeing each other face to face and we're talking back and forth. So those are for the more complicated topics, the more particular situations for you. Like, okay, this is the lesson that I learned. How do I apply this particular point for my situation? So it depends on your particular situation, whether you have X number of children or their ages, or if they're special needs or gifted or anything like that. That's where we do the coaching for customizing it, where you are able to do it 100% successfully because I am right there for you. You also have the Montessori printable lesson plans. You have over 20 lesson plans that I give you in the Montessori way. So they're all Montessori lesson plans. But then I was like, well, I don't want to just give you the lessons where it's step 1, step 2, step 3. I'm giving you the actual meat of the philosophy. So instead of feeding you for a day, I'm actually teaching you to fish. So you're able to actually apply the philosophy principles with the knowledge that you have to any lesson that you want to create. So I will teach you the principles, the foundational principles of the Montessori philosophy, and I will give you some lesson plans for you to follow along and to have as an example on how the lessons go for all the different subjects. And then on top of that, I didn't want to stop there. I wanted to give you the bonus. There are 3 bonuses inside the framework. And one of the bonuses is that I'm actually giving you the printables that go with those lesson plans. In other words, it's done for you. You can get started on those right away. All you need to do is print them out and get them ready. Set them up in your environment if your children are ready for those lessons, for those topics in their sensitive periods. So that is an awesome, awesome bonus. And I have heard that it's been so helpful to my clients. That is over 120 pages of printable activities that are Montessori for the children, and they all have the lesson plans with them. And then you also have the Montessori Practical Life Step 1 curriculum. This is a curriculum that you need to start with. The core lessons, the 14 lessons in this curriculum that I put together, are the ones that are the most instrumental and most important for you to do in the Montessori environment, because those are going to shortcut the children's journey to normalization the fastest. So these are the lessons step by step that I give you to get your children normalized the fastest. These are the very first practical life lessons that you absolutely need to start with, because they are very important. You will find out soon enough that to gain that normalization the fastest, you really do need to be very strategic and very intentional. So that is definitely an incredible bonus that I wanted to give you, because I know that a lot of people are lost in this particular aspect. So when we talk about normalization and we talk about practical life, we merge the two and made it into this one step 1 curriculum that is going to save you so much time, grief, and frustration in trying to figure it out on your own. And second, it's going to shortcut the children's journey to normalization. But then I also have the other bonus, which is the Montessori Sensorial Step 1 curriculum. And what is that? Well, practical life and sensorial are the two subjects that are very unique to the Montessori philosophy. You should always start with practical life, but sensorial is also very important for children. And that is why Maria Montessori was always stressing that we should be doing sensorial activities in the environment. So there are 9 categories in the Montessori sensorial subject, 9 different categories. This step 1 curriculum will give you lesson plans and printables that you need to get started on your sensorial. It is a lesson for each of those 9 categories. They're very thorough, they're step by step. They include all of the printables and the setup and everything. So you will be successful. You will be able to literally print them out and do them that very same day, because they are right there. They require the materials, both the practical life and the sensorial materials that you probably already have at home, most likely. So, and they cost very little or nearly nothing because you already have them at home. Those are the ones that I really wanted to focus on for you, because those two are absolutely must haves. Those bonuses you really need to know to be successful and to really not feel discouraged at the beginning of your Montessori journey, because you're going to be so frustrated if you're going to be wanting to figure it all out on your own. It's just not going to work. So let's talk super quickly about the modules inside the framework. Module 1 is all about philosophy. We're going to talk about the periods of development, absorbent mind, sensitive periods, normalized child, and more. Then module 2 is all about the materials. And you're going to talk about all of the three categories of materials. We're going to get the Montessori planner ready for you. We're going to learn with the demonstration videos. I'm going to talk to you about the 3-period lesson, the 3-part cards, and all of that good stuff. Then in module 3, it is environment ready. It's all about the setup of your environment. And that is where you're going to need me in the coaching a lot, because you want to do it right according to your particular situation. It's going to be beautiful no matter what your situation may be, whether it's just a little corner in a room or you have an entire set of rooms that you can set up for Montessori. We are also going to be talking about circle time and Montessori art and music, how to do art and music the Montessori way, and classroom management and discipline. Then module 4 is practical life and sensorial. We're going to go into the philosophy, the materials, and the lessons for those subjects. It's going to be the same in module 5, but it's going to be Montessori math and language arts. We're going to do philosophy, materials, and the lessons. And I will even give you lesson demonstrations where I'm going to be showing you a video on this is how you do the activity, but then I'm going to do the same activity with a child with me. So it's going to show you the backstage and then the actual presentation with the child and what it will look like. Then module 6 will be the same, but with science and culture. And we will do philosophy, materials, and lessons, where you're going to be learning so much, and you're going to be able to apply all of this stuff immediately as soon as you get it done. As soon as you cover the lessons and you print out your materials that are included, you can start applying it right away. Then module 7 is going to be about putting it all together. Your possible schedules, your routines, different things that you can change, how to rotate materials, all of that good stuff. So then here are the bonuses really, really fast. These are the printables that come with the lesson plans. So over 120 printable pages. They're going to shortcut your planning of activities, but they are also going to save you space, time, and money because they are not the big, bulky wooden materials, but you can still use them just as effectively in the environment. Then this is the other bonus that I was telling you about, the practical life curriculum. And this is the very, very first set of practical life activities that you must do to get children normalized the fastest. You want a tangible transformation, you need to start with these right away. And I will give it to you all step by step, super detailed, super helpful. And then you will have the same thing, the basic, but for sensorial. This one includes the 9 categories of sensorial, but also the printables that come with them. All right. And I also, oh, surprise, yes. Let me show you this one. You get a certificate of completion for 6 months of Montessori training, even though it is not an accredited Montessori certification or license, because honestly, it would cost you so much more time and money to get the certification. This certificate is accepted by many schools and administrations as professional development hours. And even if you don't work at a Montessori school, you'll be so proud that you deserve this certificate of completion because of all of the awesome time and effort that you put in. And it's going to be amazing. So let me show you the quick action bonus. Are you ready? This is what you're going to get if you sign up in the next 19 hours. On top of all of that I just talked about, you also get this digital book that is beautiful. It is called Create a Prepared Environment. It is a 21-day inner growth journey for the Montessori guide, which is you. I sat down, I had to go on a personal retreat, and I took a lot of time. I got very emotional because I went back to my journey of the 15 years of Montessori that I have had so far. And when I first came across Montessori and I was going through the certification process, it was the hardest time of my life. And Montessori was the brightest light that gave me hope, not only for myself, that I can actually do something good in the world, but for the world itself, that the world can be a better place if we are able to change the child's life one child at a time. So I went through the certification, and then I started my journey that brought me to where I am right now and having this wonderful Montessori Way Foundations Framework. This 21-day journey is going to help you build in yourself, create in yourself a centered, organized Montessori guide, because you have to look inside to then change the outside. If you are not centered, if you are not organized, if you don't have the confidence, then you can't display that to the children who are the little absorbent sponges, right? So if you enroll in the next 19 or so hours, you're going to, and this is right now, I'm talking about Sunday at 4:20 New York time. So if you're watching the replay, it might be less hours than that. But this is a beautiful digital book that you go through. It is 21 days. You don't have to go through it in 21 days in a row, but it is definitely one that you will want to have. It's a deep growth journey for you as a Montessori guide. It will discuss all kinds of topics that I wish I had had when I first started Montessori. So this is going to shortcut that tangible transformation for you, for sure. For sure, for sure. I got so emotional because this is such a special thing for me, and I put so much into this digital book for you to have and for you to be able to shortcut all of the hardships that I had to figure out and go through on my own. And then you also get, if you enroll in the next 19 or so hours, the next thing that you will need for practical life. I cannot stress just how important the Montessori practical life subject is, and that is why I want to help you the most with that subject. You really, really want these. There are 6 categories inside the practical life subject. So what I did is I created these checklists that have the list of all of the activities that you can do under each of the 6 categories. And you will be able to check when the child was introduced to it, how many times the child practiced it, if the child needs another presentation of the lesson, or if they are mastering it. You are able to fill all of that out, keep you centered and organized without having any of the guesswork. All you have to do is print one of these for each of the children that you are serving, and you will be able to keep track of everything, and you'll be amazed at how easy this will be for you, because it gives you the ideas for the works, but it also gives you the organizational part of keeping the records for each of the children to see what activities they have covered, which ones they have mastered, and which ones still need to be set out in the environment. So that's a huge shortcut for you, and you get that as well as the digital book for the Montessori guide at no additional cost. It is the quick action bonus that expires in a little less than 20 hours. So please go ahead and consider that. You can read more about it in the main page, which is on the ticker at the bottom of the screen. Okay. Talk about real fast, what do I get in the 6-month access? Because when you are in the Montessori Way Foundations Framework, you get 6 months access. So people are saying, oh, so I only get 6 months access, and then after that, I don't have anything. No, 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 that's not what I mean. You get 6-month access to the Learning Hub. So you're going to log into the Learning Hub. That is where all the modules, all the video lessons are going to be. That's where all of the PDFs are going to be. So you have the lesson and the printables that you need with the lesson. You print them out, you watch the lesson, you do the notes, your implementation tasks, and all of that good stuff. Your bonuses are for you to keep. All of the PDFs are for you to keep. What expires at the end of the 6 months is the access to the Learning Hub. So you make sure that you watch those video lessons and take really good notes, because the notes are for you to keep. Make sure that you do the implementation tasks, your homework tasks, because that is what you get to keep. All of the PDFs that you get in there, the lesson plans, the printables that go with the lesson plans, the notes, the implementation tasks, all of the bonuses like the planner, the Montessori planner, and all of the other things that I just showed you, the quick action bonus, all of those bonuses that you qualify for, those are for you to keep forever. But then what also expires after the 6 months is the coaching part. So there's a Facebook group, and then we also have the Zoom calls 2 times a month. And those are the ones that also you lose access to at the end of the 6 months. So those are the only things that go away. All of the PDFs, all of the files, all of the things like that are for you to keep forever and ever and ever. So you save the files, you print a copy, but then you save the files for you to use for years to come. So that is a great thing for you. I don't want you to stay empty handed after the 6 months. Now, if you are going a little bit slower or something happens in your life and you're not able to complete all of the lessons, or maybe you just love the coaching, you're like, oh my goodness, for this price, I am saving so much money. Because right now, for a Montessori coach, it is about $100 an hour. Yes, $100 an hour. And in this framework, you get 12 hours of the Zoom calls face to face with me. And then you also get me inside the Facebook group where you can ask me any question. I'm in there every day and I can help you through your lessons, through your particular situation. So you have me there for the 6 months. And if you say, I'm just loving this coaching so much, or I wasn't able to complete it in 6 months, even though you can actually complete it in 4 months if you're very dedicated, you can actually renew for another 6 months if you want to keep the access. Okay. Another question that I get is, how long will it take me to complete the core framework? Like I said, you have a 6-month access. So if you are done, you can come back and rewatch the lesson videos. Or you want to come back and take extra notes, or you want to come back and redo some of the lessons, or watch the video lesson demonstrations or something like that, you have 6-month access to do that. But there are people that are able to complete it in as little as 3.5 or 4 months, just about that long, if they are really dedicated. But let me just be very, very clear. You can complete it in 3.5 or 4 months. But as soon as you complete a lesson or a module, you start implementing, you start applying those things in your environment right away. So you don't have to wait until you're done. You're saying, oh, it's October and I really want to get started in January with the teaching, but if I'm going to have to wait 4 months, that means I can't start doing it until February. No. What I'm saying is that you start the framework and you start taking the lessons inside the modules, you start applying all of that stuff right away, like that very same day if you want to. As soon as the module opens, you get to watch all the lessons and do all your notes and all of your implementation tasks and all of that. So it is very practical. You learn, apply, learn, apply, learn, apply. Now, if you were a couple of modules down the road and you feel like you wanted to apply something from a past module, just come back and watch it again, or go and review your notes and then do it. So you have 6 months access to these lesson videos for you to watch as much as you need to. And I am there for you every step of the way as your coach for the 6 months to help you make sure you are not stuck. Inside the Facebook group, we have the weekly threads where we are going to be setting our goals for the week. So people will say, I'm going to do these lessons or this module this week, or you're going to brag and say, hey, this is what I did last week, and everybody celebrates with you. The thing is to keep you accountable, to keep you moving forward. I really wanted to set a time. I didn't want to say, oh, lifetime access, because then nobody will ever do it. I wanted to give you the 6 months to really light a fire, to get you going, to get you moving, because you know that there is a time limit. Believe me, I am doing you a favor. Now, some of the bonuses that I was talking about, you're not going to receive right away. The quick action bonuses you will receive right away in the email as soon as you get your confirmation email that you are enrolled. But the other ones, trust me, you don't want to receive right away, because you will be overwhelmed. You will be so overwhelmed that it will freeze you and make you stop you in your tracks. You're like, what do I do with all this? Instead, I very strategically place those bonuses and those activities, like the lesson plans, I broke them up. So when we're studying a specific subject, you get exactly what you need at the moment that you need it, instead of getting all this stuff and then you have to go and dig it out later. So trust me when I say that I have been giving it a lot of thought in the way that I created this framework. I wanted to be very streamlined and organized for you. So the actual course, the actual program, the framework does not cause any stress on you. I want you to be able to flow with it, lesson to lesson, module to module. So you open lesson one and everything that you need for lesson one is right there. And then lesson two, and everything you need is right there. Okay? So there is no confusion. There is no going back and forth, going here and there. Everything is very step one, step two, step three for you. Okay? That's just how my brain works best. And I don't want you to be stressed or lost in the way that the actual framework is carried out or that it's consumed. Okay. Facebook user says, my daughter is 2 years old. Is this material suited for children from 3 years? Okay, this is the thing. Because there is such a wide range of education in the Montessori method, I decided to focus on the ages 3 to 6. But this is the thing. This is very subjective because we know that children's sensitive periods open and close at very different rates sometimes, right? So some of these lessons that I am including in this framework are officially for ages 3 to 6, but I was able to start them with my children when they were younger than 3. That is not to say that every child will be able to start them earlier than 3, but chances are they might be. And the beauty of the Montessori philosophy is that it's not just the basic activity. You can do activities, and then after the main activity, you can do the extensions to up the level, to make it a little more complicated, to go a little more in depth in your lesson. So you can go below the main activity and you can go above the main activity. And that is the beauty of it too. So you have me as a coach. I'm giving you the framework, like the scaffolding. But the beauty of it is that you have me there with you to help you through your particular situation. That's where we make the tweaks. That's where we make the little changes or the little subtle things that will make all the difference in the world that a lot of people don't even think about. But with my 15 years of experience, having me there to help you, you will be successful that much more. And that is why I really wanted to make a difference between everything else that is out there, where you have me, you have access to me and my expertise for the entire 6 months. I don't want to just give you something and send you on your way and you're on your own. You want to have someone that has the experience, and I have had many experiences. I have worked in private Montessori schools. I have seen public Montessori schools. I have homeschooled using the Montessori method. So I have had a lot of different experiences. I have had a house where I was able to, where I lived before, I had an entire room dedicated to our Montessori works. Now we are in another home where we are only able to have a small area. So I have seen so many different scenarios, from working at a Montessori school where you can have everything and anything that you can imagine, to just one small shelf and still making it work and still making it successful, and children are still learning and happy and normalized. and having this love for learning and passion for learning. So there is a way to make it work. And you know what? Soon enough, your daughter is going to be older than 2, and she will be completely immersed into this framework and all of the materials in it. So I hope that that answered your question. Another question that I get is, what are the laser calls? The laser calls are, it's a video call in the free website called Zoom. I'm sure that now with the pandemic, everybody knows about Zoom, right? Everybody knows about Zoom. So we meet twice a month, 2 times a month. Count on the call being 1 hour long. But if you are in a rush, you can come in and out just to gain information. Believe me, it will be a time well invested, because it is a great way to giving you the specialized coaching and support that you need. They are face-to-face video calls where you get to pre-submit a question that you need help with in your particular Montessori circumstance or situation. So everyone will get a 5-minute block in that call where I will be reading and answering your question and helping you out with the brainstorming and coming up with strategies and things to apply. If you have your Montessori shelf and you want to show me right there on the Zoom call, is this set up correctly and things like that, or if you want me to look at something, maybe you filled out a lesson plan or something that you want me to look at, you can share a link with me and I get to look at it and give you some feedback. So these are invaluable. These are invaluable because everybody that gets to join in the call gets to not only get their questions answered, but also they get to learn from other people's questions. There are so many times that somebody will ask a question and I see all these faces lighting up in the call like, oh yeah, that never occurred to me before. Or, oh yeah, that was a question I had too about their particular situation. So these calls are very, very helpful. And what if I have clients here from all over the world, literally all over the world, from Australia to China, Malaysia, Canada, the UK, Mexico, from different countries in Africa, different countries in Asia, everywhere. I mean, literally everywhere. And they are in different time zones. Well, sometimes they make it to the calls and sometimes they don't. But you know what? I record those calls and I upload them to the Learning Hub within 24 hours of the call. So those that miss them, not only can they still pre-submit their questions and I answer their questions in the video, and they get to watch the replay, but then they also get to watch the replay and learn from others' questions. These hour-long calls are so incredible and it makes all the difference in the world. It is what is going to get you unstuck from the not knowing what to do, being completely lost, to delving into like picking my brain and saying, in your 15 years of experience, this is my situation, what do I do? And I'm right there with you. You're not waiting forever and ever. You're not having to pay hundreds of dollars for a Montessori coach to help you out. I am right there, okay? Then there are questions about payment plans. The framework itself has a payment plan. You can do 6 payments of $57. So at the beginning, you only do $57 and then you do 5 more payments after that one. That's less than $2 a day. Here in the United States, I don't know where you are, but here in the United States, a cup of coffee from a coffee shop is $5 or $6. This is less than $2 a day. And you are going to be getting so much out of it. Trust me, this is almost $2,000 worth of stuff. 6 months worth of a coach right there with you. It is what's going to transform your Montessori journey, and it's going to propel you forward. You will never be the same after this framework. The confidence you're going to get, the knowledge, the foundations of the Montessori philosophy. I am not into the business of feeding you for a day. I don't give you a fish for a day. Here's the lesson and go on your way. I am here in the business of teaching you to fish. I'm teaching you the foundations of the philosophy so you can then apply your knowledge into all the different lessons and all the different topics and all the different subjects. Does that make sense? I am not going to waste your time with nonsense, and I'm not going to let you do it alone. I want you to be successful. I am that passionate about the Montessori philosophy. I am that passionate about it. I really wanted to create a framework that would transform lives, because you know what? If your life is transformed, then those children's lives will be transformed. And that is what I care about. I want you to be successful in whatever your situation may be. Stop looking at those beautiful Pinterest and Instagram pictures of the Montessori environments and say, I can never have my children learn unless my room looks that beautiful or that organized. I help every single person, from having a little tiny daycare to living in a country where there are no original Montessori materials, and she's still going through the framework and she's creating her materials as closely as she can to the originals, and she is successful with it. Her children are learning, her children are thriving, they are happy, and we're making it work. We're working together to make it work. So please consider it. There is one payment of $297. Let me show you right here. Actually have a slide for it. So there is either 6 monthly payments of $57, that is less than $2 a day, or you can do one payment of $297 and you save $45. Does that make sense? So you will save $45 if you make the one payment. But you get access to everything the same, 6 months of all the beautiful stuff. So you can realize your dreams for less than $2 a day. Remember that there is no refund policy, because it is a commitment that you make. You can't change your mind and say, you know what, this is not a subscription. It is, I am 100% dedicated to you. And you are committed 100% to making this work and to being successful, and to, if you go to the main sales page and go to the very, very bottom, you can read the policy. But the reason why I don't do a subscription and a refund policy is because I really do back this framework up. I really back it up. I know that it will work, and I know that it will transform your life, because I am right there with you 100%. This is for one person. So if you have a best friend or something that also wants to go through it, you both enroll separately. You need to enroll separately. There's no teaming up or sharing the framework or anything like that, because I have the slots specifically set out to help one person in their one particular situation. I cannot be helping several people that have the one enrollment. Okay, so just making that clear, that the framework is for the one person that is enrolling, and the coaching is included in that. So you get all of this, The quick action bonus at no additional cost, almost $2,000, but it's not $2,000. I showed you what it was like, the 6 monthly payments of 57 or the full of 297, and you save the $45. Now, let me ask another question that people are wanting to know about. I mentioned it a little bit earlier. Well, what if I'm loving the coaching, which some people really, really do find value in that, or something happened and they were not able to complete the 6 months and they don't want to lose access? You are able to renew your 6-month enrollment for another 6-month access to everything in the framework. Okay, so I just want to make sure. Let me know if you have any other questions that I can answer for you. I have about 34 people that have enrolled. 34, 35. I don't remember the exact number right off the top of my head because I keep getting more and more people enrolling. So my numbers are a little different right now. I'm sure that more have enrolled while we have been talking. But as soon as you enroll, you're going to receive a confirmation email with your quick action bonuses. Make sure you download those, but also follow the instructions because you have to create an account inside the Learning Hub, and I give you the link for that in the email, in the confirmation email. I also give you the name and the link to the Facebook group where we are keeping each other accountable, where we chat, where we ask questions, and I remind you of the laser calls coming up and things like that. So it is wonderful to have everybody in there. There's chatting, there's friendships, there's people from all over the world. And I love to hear the different situations and culture and traditions and the way Montessori is done and things like that. So it is invaluable to be in that group. You get the instructions for that as well. And you also get instant access to the Learning Hub after you create your account, because you get to start with module 0, which is the onboarding module. I give you 6 lessons explaining to you about the framework. You get your binders ready, you get your calendars ready for when the Zoom calls will happen and when the modules are going to be opening and things like that. So it is so much fun. I am 100% wanting you to become a centered, organized Montessori guide as you nurture happy, normalized children. And I help you with both of those. But you know what the beautiful side effect of this framework is? Creating smooth, successful Montessori days. That is my desire for you and for all of the children that you will be serving, whether they are your children at home or you have a daycare that you want to start transitioning into a Montessori daycare, or you work at a Montessori school. Some Montessori teachers have enrolled in my framework because they find it so valuable in terms of new ideas, fresh ideas, renewed sense of that passion, rekindling that passion for Montessori after so many years. It is just a breath of fresh air to see somebody else's perspective. And I really wanted to go into the in between. Let me see if I can find that slide for you because it is such an important thing to show you. I really want you to see, oh, this one is what is going to really change your life, because right now so many of you are right here. How much does it take? Okay, you have 2 options, right? Your one option is to do it yourself. The cost is hundreds or maybe thousands of dollars and thousands of hours researching, ending up with incomplete or copy and paste lessons without the foundations and the knowledge to move forward successfully. So you're finding things here and there on your own, but you are completely lost. You don't know if you're doing it right, if you're doing enough, if you're actually following the philosophy correctly, and all of that good stuff. You don't have the foundations. Or option number 2 is to pursue certification in the Montessori method. That costs at least 5,400 US dollars, at least, and thousands of hours. It is like a college quality training. So you're going to have to dedicate a lot of time, a lot of effort. And this is only the 5,400 that is for the certification itself. It doesn't include other materials that you might need, like the Montessori books that you're required to read and things like that. You will also be able to understand that you get to spend many hours doing the studying, the writing. You write papers like you're in college, and sometimes you are even required to go and work or volunteer at a Montessori classroom for the experience of it. And some people just don't have the ability to do that. So, what if there is a third option? And in between, you're not doing it all by yourself and being completely clueless, and you're not going to the extreme of seeking certification if that is not something that you want to do necessarily for a living, where you are having to invest so much. So the Montessori Way Foundations Framework offers you the knowledge and the coaching support that you need at a very affordable price. You will dedicate time and effort to learn, but it's going to shortcut your time and your money in a big way. Like I said, this is almost $2,000 worth of education in the Montessori Foundations that you need to know for sure to be successful. I have broken it down into doable lessons. The affordable price. Let me find that slide for you really fast, all right? Let me find it because I kind of have to go back and forth. What you need to do is know that this is less than $2 a day. It is 6 monthly payments of $57. That's less than $2 a day. That's less than a coffee a day from a coffee shop here in the United States. Or you can do one payment of $297 and you save $45. So it is the one payment up front, but you're saving in the end. And if you can't do the one price, then you have the 6 monthly payments. You only pay $57 to start, and then every month 5 more payments for a total of 6, because you get the 6-month access, right? So you are going to get the core method, the bonuses, and the action bonuses. Right now, you are getting so much good stuff. Let me find that slide. So much. There it is. You're getting that, except the Smooth Successful Montessori Days kit. That one expired after the first 24 hours that I launched the open enrollment. So that one is already expired, but you get everything else, which is so amazing. I really want you to shortcut your journey without cutting corners. It is thorough, it is complete, it is full of the coaching because you have me there with you. And I have covered every base from Montessori discipline, the Montessori way, to all of the subjects, to the circle time, to you as the guide with the planner and the reflection sheets, and the observation sheets, the lesson plans, and the printables that go with the lesson plans, the step 1 for practical life, the step 1 curriculum for Sensorial, the Zoom calls that are for coaching, the Facebook group that is for keeping you accountable and moving you forward, the lesson videos. I mean, everything. I've thought of everything that makes you successful. And if I shared with you testimonials of the clients that are going through it right now, I can tell you that I have 100% satisfaction. Everybody is so happy. Everybody's loving it. Everybody's moving forward in their own particular situation. That is the beauty of it. And that is the passion behind me creating this framework. I didn't want to just do something and send you on your way. I wanted to make sure that you were doing it right. You get 6 entire months. Even if you finish, like the modules open faster than 6 months, so you start learning and applying immediately, you can complete it in like 3.5 months or 4 months, something like that. But you get the 6-month access. So once you're done, you can go back and review and make sure that everything is done really well. You watch the video lesson demonstrations where I demonstrate how to do the lessons. You do maybe you're having a discipline issue and you want to watch the discipline lesson again, or maybe you want to start implementing the circle time and you go watch that lesson again, and I give you a kit that you print out for your circle time. So I have provided everything for you to shortcut your success. Remember, the 3 premises that are the driving force of this framework. I sat down and I thought, what do I want the transformation to be? And these 3 things are it. 1 is for you to become a centered, organized Montessori guide. 2, for you to be able to nurture happy, normalized children. And 3, for you to be able to create smooth, successful Montessori days. Trust me, this is an incredible deal. And I only opened enrollment twice this year. With the pandemic and everything going on, things are just crazy. I opened enrollment twice this year. Maybe I might open it 3 times next year, but I'm not sure. So now is the time to enroll. And like I said, as soon as you go through a lesson, you implement it right away. You don't have to wait until you are done with the 6 months for you to be able to actually start implementing everything. It will overwhelm you if you're just going through the lessons and not implementing anything until the very end. So I break it down into little bite-sized pieces, right? So you take a lesson and you apply. You take a lesson and you apply. You take a lesson and you apply. And it makes it so much easier and so much better for you, because then you're focusing on one little thing at a time, little steps. Imagine you're going up the ladder of your Montessori journey. Do you want those rungs on the ladder to be small and reachable, or do you want the rungs to be so high and so far apart that you have to put so much time and effort to reaching the next one? I don't want to do that for you. I want you to be successful every step of the way. So I have clients from every walk of life, from every country that you can think of in the world. I have about 34, 35 right now. I haven't checked since I started this live how many have enrolled since then, but the number is growing, and it is super exciting to have people in there from everywhere, and we learn so much together. So I am going to let you go because it is almost an hour. Feel free to watch the replay if you want. If you have any other questions, post them here and I will come back and answer them. I am very interested in you letting me know what your questions are, and I will do my best to answer them right away. I am right here. If you need to talk to me, send me a private message on Facebook, and you and I can communicate there. Or if you have questions and you just want to post them here, that will work as well. So thank you so much for your time. I am really excited about this open enrollment. I am not sure when it's going to open again. I'm just playing it by ear with this whole pandemic and all of this that's going on. So now is the time to enroll. Now is the time. So if you have any questions, let me know. Remember that the quick action bonus is expiring in less than 20 hours. So if you want to get those extra bonuses, those action bonuses, then you definitely want to jump in as soon as possible. All right. Enrollment ends November 3rd at noon. That is Tuesday at noon Eastern time. That is New York time. And that is when enrollment is closing for a time, for a while, okay? So you want to plan accordingly and make sure you enroll before then. But the quick action bonus is going to expire in less than 20 hours, okay? So go get that. All right, thank you so much. See you soon.